You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, I never know if I have liftoff or contact or whatever. Let me see if the audio is still good. I set the control room up hours ahead of time, and then, of course, when I come back into the air chair, it is typically not exactly the way I left it. Hello, the Old Tube Radio Network. You can hear a little bit of Skipland coming through, doing what Skipland does. The Old Tube Radio Network, a voluntary association of people who gather on Saturday evenings here in the Central Valley of California, Channel 11, 27085, to promote the use and distribute information and talk about those classic tube radios. I just ran in from all the festivities outdoor. They found me a nice shirt. Thank you. What is this? Is this out of the OTR closet? It is big enough for 2 net controllers, but it's very comfortable, and it does actually have, you picked the right one. It's got my name on it. That's good. Anyway, hello, everybody. It is just shy of 100 degrees here. The temperature's going down, so I don't know how many people are going to be out by their radio and warming up the tubes. More likely they're warming up the Traeger and doing a bit of barbecuing, but we will see what happens tonight. We'll do the roll call, of course. I see that there are stations listening at oldtuberadio.net where the 6L6 is glowing. And here on the video side, there are items of interest, modes of operation doing their thing. And, of course, 27085. Let me get something for the S-meter here. Yeah, that's good enough. 27085 is working well, okay. So with that said, we had a couple of early check-ins already. Are there any stations here over the air that would like to get checked in now if they are listening? Over.
Please, Pinedale Control.
All right, Pinedale Control. Looking good. I also had the guy out Madera, SWL 61. Also had the guy in New York, SWL 68. How is it Pinedale? Is it cool there? I know Pinedale often, when we're here 100, when we're 100 in Fresno, Pinedale is like at 79, 80 degrees. That must be nice there now.
I wish it was, Dennis. But no, been up on the hill working on the new house, so kind of been inside all day. But anyway, everybody have a great weekend, and I'll keep everybody updated on the new 650 control.
All right, it sounds exciting. Hope it has a good shot down here into the valley and elsewhere. So, yeah, continue on. Hopefully you are ahead of schedule, and we will look for the updates. Thanks.
Break OTR.
The break OTR, go ahead, please. Over.
Good evening there, Dennis. B53, the Legend, checking in there, brother.
All right, Bob, hope you are enjoying our summertime weather and staying cool. 53 has got an X in the square. Thanks for joining us. Over.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good one. Doing a good job, and I'm back quiet. 73.
All right, and making sure I get all the X's in the square. If you're playing the home game, and unlike me, you don't have, the white out all of the pages, but if you're playing the home game, you are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, week 7. 7/15/2023 is where we are at. It is, man, it must be, what is it, 90? 90 degrees in the control room here under all the lights? That's Charlie. He says on the other side of the other side over there is what, 72? Why didn't you come over here and sit down? Yeah. All right, well, no tie tonight, no seersucker suit. It feels good. Feels good. Hopefully we'll get some radio check-ins. I know we've got some SWLs out there. Let's go with 00. and that is Craig, where I'm sure the temperature is nice and whatever. I looks like, oh, lots of people on already. I'll have to check my list and see what is going on. I'll get the 00 check-in, and then we'll see what is going on. Also, SWL number 1, the Cosmic Check-in. Mr. OBP, SWL number 2. And Kevin, did you hear? I keep reading about, this cycle 25 may be at its peak already, and strange things are happening. I really thought we would have another 2 or 3 years out of this. I hope we get some more out of it. But they're, the powers that be are saying, and they're not sure about what's going on with 25. But we already had some 200 sunspot numbers over 200. Not today, but I remember in that big one, was it 23 back in 2000, 2001? We had the double dip, double peak. So maybe we'll do that. All right, SWL3, I've got a proxy for Mr. Lone Eagle. Over to SWL5, looking for Levant. He might still be hanging out over at Old Radio Night, where I've got some video of ORN. They've got the lights going on. It's this side of, I don't know, this side of Hollywood and disco stuff. We'll take a look at that in coming up just a little bit. SWL7, if he dares get into the radio room.
SWL7 checking in.
That's right. Well, you've got a nice shack. You're not stuck out in the garage. You've got a nice air-conditioned, or at least it's got a vent, right? Whether anything's cold coming out of the vent. But the radio room sounds good tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, trying to keep cool in this miserable weather.
This is the miserable weather frequency. You know what? Don't go away. I'm going to put up, I didn't get a chance to adjust my receiver, so let me go to, I think it'd be, yeah. So give me a few words, and I'm going to adjust my receive volume.
A few words from the neighbor that's only about a mile away, so you can adjust to, hopefully no one else should come in and just destroy you or get more wattage than me. Or if they were in a mobile driving in between, they probably could.
All right. Well, you always have a good full quieting signal, and your audio is never overdone. So there we go. I'm setting the LKFS as the SWL7 is the audio standard here for the LKFS meter. Thank you, Mr. Ed.
And thank you.
And then over to the big bore, SWL10, and I see the jumping. Where are those dolphins? I know they're there somewhere. I did see Chrissy, and oh, there they are. just look for the fish. Don't forget to feed the fish, and when the dolphins are jumping. Hi, Chrissy. It is. I don't know if you guys are having the heat wave like we are here in Central California, but hope you are staying cool. The band isn't quite open. We could have some atmospheric chopo ducting tonight. It's very warm. We'll see what happens. So we got 10 and 30 checked in. Also, I have, let's see, Echolink is up. We tested the crossband with 52 earlier, and that was looking good. So all is well. We get the weather to cooperate. Let's see if Mr. Cornbread is in. He was in earlier. I don't know how it works. I try and set stuff up, and all of a sudden, it's like the old Mervyn things. Open, open, open. Let me get back to the right camera here. And all these people show up on my radio screen. So I did see Mr. Cornbread, and, of course, Dapper Dan. Dapper Dan also in his best middle of summer garb, like I've got here. I wonder if Dapper Dan has his own OTR shirt with his SWL12 emblazoned over where the pocket should be. Hard to say. Where are we at? SWL 13. And I'm taking a look at oldtuberadio.net, see who is, he was out and about. The unknown SWL, of course, up at the top. Edmonton, Alberta, hello to you. Fresno chiming in. Hans is out there. I'll take a look and see what he's up to this morning, where he is, up there in Copenhagen this morning. Good morning to you, Hans. Thanks for joining us here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Plymouth, Minnesota. What's going on there? It's not quite, no, it's not, definitely not Sunday yet. And 66 degrees. I'm heading that way. I'm coming down the 494 and heading your way. Thanks for joining us. Sylvania, Ohio. Oh, that's our new SWL. Who is that? Who's in Sylvania? It's Jay-Z. We'll get you in a little bit. And, of course, right here in the front, Chet and Charlie. All right. I will get a check-in for Michael. He will probably be by officially. I get him checked in via Facebook, but he usually stops by and says hello. Radio. Sangertown, is it too hot to keep up the radio? SWL 14.
Howdy, Dennis, and hope everybody's staying cool out there, having a good weekend. SWL 14 and Sanger checking in.
Yeah, it's as cool as I can be. You're sounding good tonight. The channel is quiet, so good deal. So if you dare to turn on some tubes, and I can tell you have already, we've got a spot reserved for you or two on the radio list. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you. I'll try and get in there later this evening.
Okay, I am going to make an on-air SWR adjustment. There we go. Tweaking some controls on the SWR. 14 is in. SWL 16 right there, over on the cool side of the desk. Charlie helping out tonight. Charlie was a big help today. We had a lot of people out of the pool doing all the stuff. And he's got everything nice and cleaned up here in the control room. Looking good. Hope things are going good in Anoka, and you're on the remote. And looking forward to the program. So am I. I'm looking forward to the program. Never know. I never know where there will be a program until we start. SWL, thanks for stopping by. SWL 17. SWL 18, Mr. KDA from the Facebook page. SWL 19, Chet out in Derby, New York, Belfast, Maine, right here with the cue cards, as always. And you've got a little portable fan. He's waving instead of, I don't need a read card, right? Just wave him in front of you like that. I like that. Blow some of that cold air this way. Thank you, Chet. Let's go to SWL 20. It's probably nap time over there. But I know he's got the air-conditioned radio. Let's see. Oh, we're gonna go to 21. I think he's still on. I'll have to see if we got some audio from 21 tonight. And let me bring up the video. Is it on? Yeah. Look at that. It looks like Major Tom to ground control. Is that what it was? He's got the USB microphonium, the lights. I don't hear any audio. Maybe he's resetting here. That is the live picture for shortwave listener 21, Mr. JT. I see you, but I don't hear you. And so I'm putting the X on his cord. It's like he's trying to reconnect the microphone. Yes, I know how those technical things are. See, that's one of those USB ports. It runs off the box. It looks like, you know what? It looks like it's R2D2. Why can I not hear? No, there should be audio. Do we have the Jingle Singers? Because that's the same port. All right, well, keep it up in the background if it happens, but that is Unit 21. And what are you guys on tonight? What's your old radio night? It doesn't say what radio is supposed to be, but it looks good. Got you checked in. I wish... Is it live? No, it's live. I wish I could hear you. All right, back to the studio. It's getting dark. Well, you know what it is? It's this white shirt. It's messing up the camera. Let's go to SWL 22. Where's my page here? Okay, 21 is checked in, 22, and then on the satellite somewhere, SWL 23, he says better to tweak the SWR than the SWL. Yeah, I sometimes I get them confused, and the SWL will let you know when you are turning the wrong knob. 23 Skidoo is in. And he's just he's out there in the 23 Skidoo skipper. What is it, the canoe? The 23 Skidoo canoe? Where it's probably, 59 degrees with clouds and stuff. Whenever we get this kind of weather, you guys have overcast out there. Anyway, Mitch, hello, radio. And welcome to the weekend. SWL 24. Let me get a proxy. I don't think I checked in Joe early. I'll check him in now. 24, if you're listening, I got you checked in. There's a guy. Hello, 61 over.
I didn't know if you heard me earlier. I kept having some heavy stuff.
Yeah, I actually did hear you earlier, but I'm even hearing you better now, so we will get you checked in. The skip sort of has gone away.
I like it when it's gone. Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah, who was it? Somebody said earlier, you got to be careful not to step in the skip. Sounding good. Thank you, Dino.
Thanks, sir.
And 23 Skidoo says, good guess. It is 59 degrees. It's 99. 99 degrees here. It's like, maybe you are in Alaska. Thank you. 61 is in, where are we going? 24, SWL 25. I'll get 25 checked out. If he's smart, he's doing it. He's probably playing a gig somewhere where it's air conditioned on the stage. Dare Dwayne be in Studio G? I don't know. SWL 27. Hello, radio. Listening on the crossband. Yeah, I thought it was a little too hot to be out in Studio G tonight. Where there is a Delta breeze. What is it, 95 where you are, Gary? SWL 28 near Sacramento. And I got to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Levon is there. That's what happens when you have a fish dinner. Is that what happens? Fish dinner makes you slow? So I see Levon. Let me see if... Yeah, Gary's in there. It says 28 checking in. Hot today, 104, just like us. You know why? Because the breeze was coming from the east. The Delta breeze was non-existent, so we were getting the stuff off Mojave or something. So that's what happens. Now you know what it's like to live in FRES, capital N, capital O, when you don't have that nice breeze. He's going to have a root beer, make it a double, and the AC needs charging in the limo. We'll get Bob and Steve on that. I was in it earlier. It was blowing cold. The red limo was blowing cold earlier, so I'm sure they've got it covered by now. All right, 28 got you checked in. SWL 29, we've got Mr. Loner checked in. SWL 30, we've got Dwayne checked in. I'm getting behind on putting in my X's here. SWL 31. I'm starting to get good on the foot switch. SWL 32. Shortwave listener 33, myself, and the honking proboscis of Bozo Control, and everybody else around the studio here tonight. SWL 34. Mr. Fiedler and group. Railroader, Captain Chaos, all the gang there. Let me get Jimmy checked in. I don't know what he's doing. He's probably working on all the Facebook pages. SWL 35. What is happening in cool Cheyenne, Wyoming tonight? I'm checking the board. I don't see Mr. Bill. Maybe he's enjoying all the good weather out there. Let me proxy in Bill. SWL 36. SWL 37. I will get Chris proxied in. He'll be by. And there is no skip. Sam is a good relay guy out in Byron where he checks in via the skip, which is not there tonight. So he's probably trying direct. And we're not hearing a doggone thing. All right, 38. I've got you check in. I know you're out there, Sam, so the X is in the square. SWL 39. I could get used to not wearing the tie on the suit. SWL 40. I'm going to proxy in for Larry. He's probably enjoying the cool weather in the basement. Although in the wintertime, it actually feels pretty good. SWL 41 is live right there out of New York. Road Dog 507. Checking in from the Tri-County React, Hudson Valley, New York. Somebody was talking about React today. And yes, those of us like me who remember when you would stay off of Channel 9, you wouldn't even get on Channel 10 with Bleed Over because the React, especially in Southern California where I grew up, where hubcaps were flying all over the freeways, and the React was always busy telling people to avoid those hubcaps. So good deal on the Tri-County React, and thanks for checking in. Let me see. We went through the list over here. Let's see who's on. Let me go on the video side just quickly. Say hello, radio. I'm trying not to overheat things. Eric D is on. Somehow people know when the video comes up. Eric's always one of these. He must have a big red light that flashes. In Palm Springs, where, what is it? Was it 118 in Palm Springs today? And it's going to be even warmer tomorrow. Could be 120. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to break. I don't think we're going to break any records. Kenny, we got you checked in. I see you there. Foxman 362 in Rockwood, Tennessee, where it's partly cloudy. Might be raining, because there was a big storm that, went through Oklahoma, Kansas the other day. They have the tornado sirens going. All right, there's Craig. I see you, Craig. Got your 00 checked in. We're coming up to your check-in number 2. All right, there's 21 SC. I don't know if you ever got his audio. I don't know why I'm not hearing audio. Hello, Albert. If you are listening, are you on my list? Are you in Edmonton? We will try. I think I forgot last week. I forgot last week to put on the satellite. We'll do that later on tonight and put up the satellite link, see if we can hear you guys up in Squamish. Hans, of course, waking up to the Old Tube Radio Network. And he says the show is on. Is there a show? Yeah, there will be a show when we have the radios checking. And the radios, if there is a show, it is because we have our tube radio operators and collectors to, as they say on that TV series, make it so. PSV Odyssey, hello to you. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. Checking in on the Dwight D base. You can check in any way you want. Thanks, Steve. Mr. Phillips, 5369, saying hello, fellow radio enthusiasts. Yeah, a lot of us. That's how we got started. Shortwave listening and on the walkie-talkies. Doing the stuff way far away in Iowa City or somewhere like it. Larry, sitting in the Radio Shack tonight. He's got doing some FT8, no doubt, little digital modes. The FTDX 3000 at 20, listening at 27085 and not here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Well, thanks for trying, Larry. Out there in the land of Oz. Rusty Rail, Central Arkansas is checking in. Glad you are out there listening. the old Tube Radio Network. We will have the radios checking in after the roll call. 007 Extreme CB. And out of New Jersey, break or break. We're hoping not to break it too much. From the High Prairie, and that's not the one in the U.S. of A., but from Alberta, out in the High Prairie. Hello, Mark is listening in tonight. United Delta X-Ray 875 is checking in and looking good. Hope to catch you on 40. Man, the band was long last night. I got somebody super loud. I don't know where they were, back east somewhere, just sounding good. And it was also good in the short hop. All right, I'm almost done here. Check us, the report. The Chuckles and Vinegar, they say, are out by the pool, messing things up. Stay away from the pool. Radio Randy, hello Randy, I missed you. I missed Randy. It is as you can hear, if you're listening, Randy, if you're listening on 11, there's not a thing going on, but you just never know. All right, back to the roll call. And Randy, I'll get you checked in now. I don't know what's going on. Let me go to 99, SWL 99. Radio Randy out in Cape Creek. And the X is in the square.
A bit of repackaging by the hippie generation now on BBC 4 in
Okay,
part 2
and what is that?
of Folk Britannia.
Okay, I don't know what that was, but if we only have to have the jingle singers here, because we have other audio or video, bad things happen. So hold on a second. All right, I think I've got that under control. Okay, yeah, somebody was up on the stage here. Thanks for that. Yeah, I'm going to have to work on the camera. It looks very harsh. Directing that roll call. See, I'm easily interrupted here. SWL 42 is where we left off. Thank you, Chet, for that. The cue cards do come in handy sometimes. SWL 42. SWL 43. Shortwave listener 44. I'm going to get 360 checked in. He sounded really good last night on the Ditchbanks sideband net. SWL 45. Hello, Paul and Kelly. If you guys are listening in, I am getting you checked in up there in the big town of North Fork. SWL 46. Shortwave listener 47.
Good evening from the Radio Lounge. This is SWL 47, where everyone sounds nice on air so far, even though it's 82 degrees in the lounge here. But that can't take away from the temperature can't take away from the pleasure of listening to everyone on these delightful old tube radios.
And it is a pleasurable experience. I'm coming over there. I think it's a 92 in the shack here. It's a little bit toasty with all these lights and tubes, but that's a good thing. You are sounding good, and I've got you checked in. When the BBQ is over, join us with a radio or two, won't you?
Please count on it.
All right, thanks. 47 checked in. SWL 48. Mr. KP out of Madeira. I'm checking him in from the Facebook page. Hello to SWL 49. Also get a check-in, proxy check-in for Smitty and Sweet Country Mama, SWL 50. Another one of our great Sanger stations with the mellifluous audio, SWL 51.
5-1, checking in.
Sounding good tonight. It doesn't sound like anything is overheated. Maybe you, but the radios sound good. And the shack tonight. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis. It's warm in here. It's about 90 degrees in the radio room.
Yeah, it does that. You know, tubes don't care. Tubes do not care how hot it gets, but it's those solid state components that have some issues. All right, you're sounding good as always, Dave. The 305, somewhere near Sangertown, we've got you checked in.
Number 30 checking in.
And number 30, can you believe it? Hello, radio. All right, I'm putting 30. Where is it? I'm putting 30 up in the. There it is. SWL 30, live and direct. Just beaconing in through the noise level here tonight. And let me go to the DX map. I just can't believe it's open. I think you created the conditions tonight.
All right, these conditions aren't all that great, so we're going to listen up. Hopefully they'll get better.
Yeah, there it is. There's the DX map. Gray line right over. Just past Idaho. It's opening up Nevada, Idaho, and as always, Dwayne taking advantage of coming down to Central California. Our DX map is looking good, and 30 and 10 on the live and direct, and some more numbers coming in, so things are opening up. Thank you. Over.
All right, Dennis. We'll see if we can check in some radios tonight. Thanks again.
All right, great deal. And he's on, I can tell he's on the Browning, looking good. SWL 30 at the Microphonium, 30 and 10. Checking in Skipland. So, Randy, if you're listening out there in Arizona, maybe we'll have some items tonight. Let's go to shortwave listener SWL 52. 52, I didn't record it, but 52 checked in earlier on the crossband. SWL 53 checked in on an early check-in. SWL 54 on the cosmic check-in. SWL 55, hello M&M, over. And Dwayne getting some thumbs up on grabbing the Skipland for sure. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis. Out 56, just for kicks.
All right, Running Man 4 is out. I hope under a tree, under a shady spot somewhere. It is still 96 degrees around these parts. You are sounding good, and we've got you checked in 56. Well, you know what, just for kicks. Back to my list. SWL 57. Looking for Mr. Brown Dog Audio. Who else? Somebody snuck in. Who is that waving? Who is that waving behind? It's Big Rich, 6520. Hello, radio, and thanks for jumping in. I hope you were in the green room and got some goodies, or get some goodies before you head out to do whatever it is that you need to do tonight. But thanks for stopping by the studios tonight. SWL 58. SWL 59. That is none other than Uncle Hairball. I think from his... He's got his own parking space over at Old Radio Night. SWL 59. I will get Uncle Hairball checked in somewhere. Looking around the room. SWL 60. And I've got a note. If you're listening, Joe, if you're listening, Mr. Hustler, we're putting the X in the square, and yeah, it is not a good time to be outside working on the roof or all that stuff. So hope it's all going well, and we've got you checked in. Over. Directed net roll call is where we are at. Randy says it's 115 today where he's at, so maybe we'll have some good conditions. SWL 61, Dino out there in Madera Town, sounding good earlier. I got Copenhagen checked in. SWL 62. SWL 63. All right, there's 59, Uncle Hairball. Uniform Delta X-ray. United Delta X-ray. It's one of those combinations. Checking in, looking good. SWL 63. SWL 64. And that's another X for Craig. He's got that 2-for-1 check-in. It is week 7, so Craig's got another week to go. And he's you're perfect attendance already. So you might do it again. Let's go up the hill, SWL 65. Diddy Bopper. Hello, Chrissy. Yeah, we do some Diddy bopping. Let's see if I wonder if anybody listening on 10 meters, we have any of the beaconings Diddy bopping in, because our band is opening up. SWL 66. Mr. Phillips, 369. Is that to me? Where is he reading the comments from? I've got the best crew. 19, Chet has the cue cards just behind the camera there. Do you want? Okay, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to give up the cue cards. Normally he'll bring one over, but okay, not tonight. That's fine. I don't want to mess. They're all in order, and if he pulls one out, they all get out of whack. I understand that. Let's go to SWL 66. SWL 67, getting Bill checked in out of Oregon. SWL 68, Michael checked in earlier from New York. SWL 69, Kenny from Tulsa. Kenny, you know it. You are not missing the summer weather. Kenny, one of our longtime SWLs, would check in live when he was here in the Central Valley, out in Tulsa, Oklahoma now, and still stops by to say hello, radio. We've got you checked in. SWL 70. SWL 71. Oh, let me go over to the other mode of operation. See what is going on in Dallas, Georgia tonight. Stan is checking in. I barely got on 40 meters today. It's just been a busy day. It's been hot. I had stuff to do, so I don't know if there's any contests or QSO parties or anything like that. So Stan, hope all is going well and you're getting to do some fun stuff. Let's go to SWL 72.
72, checking in.
Hey there, live and direct, Radio Boy, beaconing up here to channel 11 on the AM mode. You are sounding good, and I've got you checked in. Over. Okay, looking good. What's going on? It's Joey, Tango Romeo 21 X-rays, upstate South Carolina, where the storms have passed, so it's calmed down. I know it got kind of wacky, late last night and throughout the day? So that's good that things are looking better. SWL 73. I'm giving a proxy check in for John. Sometimes he will stop by the crossband. The crossband is up. Echo Link is up. I see Tony is there, so we'll see what's going on. Got a proxy check in for Miss Jilly, SWL 74, SWL 75. NA. Oh, the North America QSO party? Or NA. That's no state. Yeah, if it's an NA QSO party, that means there's going to be a lot of stations out there. All right, well, I'll listen in for that. Maybe we'll tune in 40 meters. If I can stand sitting in the air chair here after the program. SWL 76 from Rhode Island. Hello to Red Fox 1, if you're out there. 76. SWL 77. Someone said put a proxy in for 1017, which I will do. All right, and I am looking. Oh, it looks good. They said, what's going on? It's just the cameras aren't adjusted because of the white shirt. I'll get it here at the end of the thing. We are on Direct Net Roll Call, page 3, SWL 78, Wild Wildemar. Heard him, you could hear Rich on the end of last week's net. You'll hear Rich, 78, talking with Mark out of Lake Almanor on 40 meters. SWL 79. And Philip got an early check-in. I thought he might jump in. But he got the insurance check in. SWL 80. Man, it's just quiet. I love the way that that Dwayne just jumps in. It's like the band is totally closed, and he just shows up and says some stuff. Is it Bob and Steve? I see the limos lurking. Let's see what's going on.
27.0850 OTR Channel 11.
Whoopee. What episode is this? 175. That's a good number. Here on the Old Tube Radio Network, episode 175 of Bob and Steve for July 15th, 2023. How can this be? 175. Unreal. I say the same thing. Well, they have got the... Let me go back to the camera here. They've got the closet stocked full of 33 shirts, and they found this one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what size this is. This is... I could float away, and it's very comfortable. Very, very breezy and airy. He's got a whole closet full of net control shirts here. What is going on tonight? We won third place in the 4th of July parade. Third place is good. OTR was well represented and won a $50 Costco gift card. Well, that's not going to last long, is it? The Jingle Singers spent the card on fish food. All right, at least something good. And you know, I saw some kitty treats, so they might have got some stuff for Pink as well. The temperature hit 110 degrees today in Fresno. Actually, I think around here we have more shade trees, so we were down at 105. I know, what's the difference, right? The pool has been a big winner. Yeah, I couldn't get in. I was out there having a good time though. Very busy, so that's good. Good to see it. Good to see it working, and people are still out there. So if you're coming by, stop by the pool. Lots of good stuff going on. The Jingle Singers continue to make plans for the 127th annual Cheyenne Frontier Days coming very soon. Maybe that's where Mr. Bill is. Set up out by the pavilion. The pavilion is nice this time of year. It's like the place you want to be. Your Fresno Fleming's is an outstanding choice. Yeah, it is. How do they get Fleming's? I mean, that's like way up there. I don't even think they take a Costco card, so I'm a little wondering how they're paying for all that. Choice to enjoy exceptional prime steak, baked potatoes, and all the extras. You can join us after the net. Coffee and tea are on Bob and Steve. And of course, you do not want to forget to feed the fish. Take a little break here, see what's going on. We'll be back in a moment. The Old Tube Radio Network.
27.0850 OTR Channel 11.
Breaker.
The breaker, go ahead, over.
37 checking in, Dennis.
And I never knew for the longest time we got a statue downtown here.
You copy that? 37.
2 days here in California. Have a beautiful evening. One element checking in and checking out.
All right, 37 at the microphone. Yeah, no, turn your audio back down, Chris. I hear you just fine. Somebody proxied you in. I will put the official X in the square for 37. If I get the right camera here, your official check-in is checked in. And the one element pointing, which way does the one element point? Up, down, east, west, north, south, or maybe all directions? Checking in and checking out. We've got you. We're on the directed net roll call. We're on page 4. We are waiting for the radios coming up. Thank you. Over.
And 603 also.
603?
Yeah, I think Joe, 603.
Oh, yeah. Okay, 603, a.k.a. Also SWL 60. I do have Joe checked in as well. Thanks.
Okay. Hey, I'll be back with another one in a little bit.
Okay, and there is that camera adjustment talking about. I look so bright in the white shirt tonight. SWL 81. And what's happening? My numbers aren't. Yeah, hit the side of the machine, will you? Okay, there we go. Sometimes you have to hit the side of that machine to make it work. SWL 82. Got a check-in for a couple weeks for 82. The Ditch Banks sideband net. Was it Daryl that did a good job Friday of running the net, getting people checked in? That is Friday nights. If you tune in 36 lower sideband, wherever you might be here in the Central Valley of California, the Ditch Banks sideband net goes on 36 lower at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time Friday evenings. Join us, won't you? Over to SWL 83, JZ. out of Sylvania, Ohio. That's it. Did they make the tubes there? And he's got a front row seat. JC's right in the front here. You know, he knows where the cool spot is, temperature-wise. 83. Let me get the official check-in at the top. And thanks for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And while Neil is here, let me get him checked in so it does not scroll away. SWL 147 in the Sand Hills. What's going on in Fayetteville tonight? It says Kakalaki is rocking out. Good to hear action on 26-915 a.m. I'm going to have to listen in there. 26-915. Always good to hear some DX AM 27-395 on the lower side, or maybe upper side. Yeah, lower side. Okay, LSB. Good conditions from everywhere. So be good, stay cool. Dr. Jazz, I will do it. 887 in the heart of Carolina. All right, glad to hear you got some good conditions there. And that the AM, it's always nice to do a little bit of skip AM. I want to get the 10-meter AM. The band hasn't been that good for 10 AM. I'm a little disappointed. Let's go to SWL 84. The band seems like it's opening up. So we'll get 84, 86, 87, and 88 respectively. The Cheerios Kid, the Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl. SWL 88. No, I'm sorry, SWL 89. SWL 90. From way out yonder. Actually, that's not kind of yonder. The Bronx, I never think of the Bronx as out yonder. It's somewhere. Felix, checking in, saying hello radio. I like that, hello radio, on the little memes there. Saying hello to all the SWLs and OTR operators, whoever they might be. Thank you, Felix. Always nice to see you tuning in. However one tunes in on the Universal Media Netweb. SWL 92. SWL 93. And Foxman, don't forget to turn on the tube radio. I won't forget. I'll try not to forget. We have no pen tonight because there's no pocket protector, and I was keeping the tubes off just to keep the room cool, but I will turn it on. You know, the show must go on. And the Dapper Dan now wants a T-shirt. Yeah, he needs to get the T-shirt that says, you know, Dapper Dan SWL 12 on there. It'd be pretty cool. Show me up with my button down here. Let's go to SWL 95. That, of course, is Warthog 95, who is probably somewhere saying hello radio. Let me find you. Yeah, Orlando, Florida. Good evening to Orlando, and I bet it is a good evening. Let's go a little bit close to home. SWL 96, Mr. Prune Picker. I got a note to check in 96. The Van Man, are you on the road? I don't see you. I see you, but I don't see you. He's been keying up. But the skip is just no good in Kentucky. Yeah, no, the skip, you got to be closer than that. All right, let's get Van Man on the board here. Well, it's good you tried anywho. SWL 97. I thought I saw Boston in there. Boston 97. Jim, where did you go in my screen? You probably rolled past me. Radio's coming up. If you're warming up a radio, now's a good time. You know, you don't want to keep things on too long because it's hot around here. But you've got to warm them up. Give them 2 to 5 minutes, they'll be good. Checking in 97. Hello, Jim. With the X in the square. Out in Boston, where the weather is always good during the summer, I bet. SWL 98. Tracy, I see you. I see you waving a hand, as they say, on the Citizen Band radio. At Newcastle, Pennsylvania, a Crash 350. Good to have you aboard. Haven't seen you in a while. Maybe I just wasn't looking. SWL 99, Randy, with the beam pointed this way, waiting for some skip possible. And I have not tried the Echo link tonight, but I'm about to do so, and we'll find out if it's working, or in this case, or not, by giving Tony a call and see what's up in the land of tubes on the air. KD4BAO, KB6GFD, over. We'll see if what's happening up there in South Carolina tonight.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you, and have a good evening. KD4BAO.
All right, I'm trying to stay cool, and we are ready for the radios, and you are sounding good. Thanks for joining us on the Echo link, KB6GFD. All right, Tony, working good. Even got my internet connection seems to be working, so X in the square for Tony. Over to SWL 102. Calling Arkansas, right there, checking in, and peeking, peeking around the corner. Let me see. What is it? This corner? Is it that? Maybe it's up there. He's peeking. He's peeking behind. I see you. You're the guy. You're the guy with the laser beam going up on the balcony, just like a cat, trying to get me to chase the laser beam. SWL 103. What's happening up in Auberry tonight? SWL 109.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
Right, sounding good as always. Crystal clear, beaconing across the valley floor. Thanks for joining us and the Exton Square.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, man, that is some good audio. I'm in my headphones, and now I have to look to see if he's peeking around the corner behind me. Sounds like he's right in the studio here. Let's go to SWL 110. And did I mention if you ever want to give yourself, our local stations or skip stations a radio check, the audio is up on the archives. It's called, archive. You got to wait for it. It loads an MP3. Find the date, whether it's SWL or Tube Radio Check-In, or for some reason they keep these the videos up. You can kind of fast forward, look for your number, check-in number or not on the screen, and then you will give yourself a radio check. I usually try to keep the S meter up so you can say, yeah, I was 9 pounds, good modulation at Chestnut and Herndon. Hello, 110. 111 checked in. If you check the early replay, you'll hear Robert out of Reedley coming through just mighty fine through the skip earlier. SWL 113.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
Sorry for the late check-in. 24, checking in.
All right, no problem. It looks like someone got you proxied in, so I will make it an official X in the square. Thanks, Joseph.
Oh, have a good night.
All right, so I got official X there, 113. I'm going to give Tom, he usually listens in, I catch him sometimes on the Friday night net, or Friday morning net, which I haven't been able to make. I apologize to Tony. I haven't been able to make Friday mornings, but I will be working on that. Okay, talking about making the net. Here's a guy, I really think he's in first place for most check-ins, perfect attendance. There's a couple of guys, like 56 and some of the other ones, but they are up there. SWL 114.
114 checking in.
All right, Wayne, sounding good. Thanks for joining us here at the Old Tuber Radio Network, but you know where the Saturday night place to be is. Thanks for checking in.
You're welcome, Dennis. Thank you.
Wayne even goes back. He attended, we had way back in the day in the late 80s, and there's some pictures floating around here somewhere. The barbecue picnics out at Woodward Park, when you could do that kind of stuff. When we had the old tube radio toss and some other stuff. So good things. Maybe we'll have to resurrect that in the next 20 years. All right, where are we? We are looking for SWL 128. And I did see, let me go to the big board here. John was, oh yeah, that's right. He had to get up at 4:30 his time, which is like, I don't know, like midnight our time. So Fairfax, Virginia, got you checked in. If you watch the replay, you are checked in. Man, up at 4:30. Well, I hope whatever you're doing at 4:30, it's worth getting. Sometimes a 4:30 is not worth getting up, and sometimes it's like, ooh, it's exciting. I'm getting up at 4:30 to do something cool. Or it's like, oh no, they're calling me in early. They're calling me in early at the shop, doggone it. So, John is in. Let's go to SWL 131. SWL 133. Who else? Was somebody... They said somebody came in the door. No? Yes? Just my imagination? Just my imagination. All right, let's go to shortwave listener 135. Got a proxy for 135. SWL 137. SWL 145. Hello, Tony. Not sure. Tony may be away from the air chair, so I'll get him checked in. I'm not even sure if there's any Friday night questions. If you're listening, Tony, on the remote, I'm getting you checked in. Did someone say hello to Cornbread from 21? You know, Cornbread, he's got Post-its, and he's got Post-its all over, and he, whenever somebody says hello, he writes a little note so he can remember who said hello and who didn't. So an official hello from OTR, and no doubt from ORN. Let's go to, we got Neil, SWL 147 in the Sandhills of Kakalaki, where the skip is good. Let's see what Snow Beast is doing. Hello, Bobby, SWL 188.
Evening time, Dennis. Evening time to all SWLs. 188 checking in and burning up in the garage.
Yeah, Studio G. And so, yeah, no doubt, even though the sun is down, you've got to have those fans going, and I can hear them. Thanks for jumping in.
10 for evening time.
Let's go up to where it might be a degree or two cooler up in Coarsegold, beautiful Coarsegold, SWL 195.
195, checking in from Monaco.
Well, it's another one tomorrow and another one the day after that, and then maybe things will break. Anyway, you've probably got some nice clear skies to do some stargazing and all that good stuff. As always, thanks. Here's another guy. I mentioned the guys that been checking in for 30 years in perfect attendance. Here's another guy that's on the top 5 right there. You are sounding good, Jim. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you much, Dennis.
And then Mr. Jeff out there, the three-wheeler, somewhere up in Mariposa, Mr. Shockwave. I'm going to get you checked in. And anybody else, any check-ins? And somebody said, you know what, the old Tube Radio Network, if you just listen, this is, for those of you who did not have radios back in the 1960s and 70s before it kind of got just wild and wacky, what you hear is very indicative. It's very similar as to the bands back in those days. People just having good conversations and maybe not a lot of handles and call letters, but just, you know, conversation. The old Tube Radio Network, kind of a throwback. And that's the way we like it. And then what we do is we add the radios to the mix. And not only do you hear the voices and the personalities, but you've got the radios to go with it. So you can't beat it. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, check on a few things, and then we'll be back with the radios. Were there to be any? There are some people braving the elements tonight and turning on the tube. So OTR will be back in a couple minutes, setting up for the tube radios and back with all that stuff. So stand by.
TV. Because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Yes, brought to you by RADIO. Thank you, Stan Freeberg, Billy May, X4000, and the Vogue. I think it's, and happy birthday to X4000. I think he's out celebrating his birthday today. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio is Going in the Dark. You can see how I ran out. Let me put on the headphones. They say, yeah, I ran out to get some refreshments out by the pool and just ran back in. So that's why it looked like that. They say, we need another video adjustment. I'll do that in a little bit. I remember to turn on the radio. We are ready to, speaking of radios, we are ready to check in a lot of radios here tonight. I'll make one quick adjustment. What if we do that? All right, that's even better. And away we go. So what else? Is that all we have to do? We'll fix it up. Radio's on, no pocket protector, no pen. So as the guy used to say a long time ago, and away we go. OTR listening. And the printer, the printer broke. All right, I've got to double up on the tube radio list. Somebody snuck in. They're pointing. They say, who snuck in? Oh, it's Popcorn 913. Hello, radio. He doesn't sneak in. You know when Popcorn 913 is here is because, like, am I smelling popcorn? Is it the caramel? Is it the hot buttered stuff? All right. No item that. All right, Jingle Singers want to test out. Let's test out the microphoniums over at the Jingle Singers. Let's do that.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
The station for you, me, and just about everybody else. Who's joining us? Yellow Springs, or somewhere near it, out in Ohio. Is it still Saturday in Ohio? No, it's not. Sunday morning, we're at 68 degrees. Yellow Springs is a village in Greene County. Population was 3697. It's part of the Dayton Metropolitan Statistical Area. Well, it's good to be a statistic of something. All right, so I'm not sure exactly where you're at, but whether it's Tecumseh State or out in the canoe launch or Old Town, but thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network, and we are standing by listening for any and all check-ins. All right, 14 looking good. Step up into the air chair. Don't take a transmission just yet. I want to get an SWL check. And somebody came up the stairs from the basement to brave the heat. SWL 40. So I see you, Larry. We got you checking. I think somebody proxied you in earlier, but I'm going to make the official X in the square. Yeah. And anybody else? HT37. Who's talking about an HT37? I have an HT37. It's right over here. It's not hooked up. I actually ran net control on an HT37. It wasn't really good on this band. The power was low. And it's about 80 pounds. It is a very heavy transmitter. All right. We'll talk more about helicrafters. Maybe we'll check in some helicrafters tonight. And the radio is on in Squamish, BC. Thank you, Albert. We will be checking in with you guys a little bit later on the satellite uplink. Oh, and I buried my... Sorry, Sean. He's got his radio, and I'm fooling around here. All right, radio number 1. Hello, 14 over.
Yeah, Dennis, I'd like to check in my Cobra Cam 88 with the stock B&K and microphone.
All right. You always know when you get a radio with the stock microphonium that just sounds good. It's like, you don't have to do a thing. It's like the way they intended it, out of the box to sound good. Who we got? Mark N5RPZ is showing us a pair of what he's got, which is similar to what Sean has got out in Sanger. And I'll ask the question again. There's a mod light and a switch, and a mod light and not a switch, which version you have, but it is sounding good. Take a transmission on Radio 1 here tonight.
Yeah, my radio has the boost and the modulation light, which is working correctly, and the Dirt Dog here would like to have a guest check-in on the program.
All right, the Dirt Dog, we have an official honking proboscis for the Dirt Dog here on the Old Tube Radio Network, and in the same radio room as the Cobra Cam 88. Take another transmission.
This is Dirt Dog 982, Dirt Dog 982, checking in.
All right, I copy. Dirt Dog 982, official log in with radio number 1 tonight on the Cobra Cam 88 and sounding very good on the Old Tube Radio Network, beaconing worldwide. Over.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, and thank you. Sounding good. Nothing like an old tube radio to broadcast your voice out into the ether for the SWLs. The Cobra Cam 88 doing a good job. I was trying to find, there was one of those stations that had posted a whole row of Cobra Cam 88s. And for some reason, that picture's not coming up. So we'll go with the great audio. Take another transmission, Sean. Over.
Yeah, that's cool. He can watch the YouTube video and hear what he sounds like on the YouTube side of things. So hopefully the Cobra Cam 88 is making a nice transmission tonight. It's good conditions for me out here. I can hear you real good.
Yeah, no, it is nice and clear. Daniel Kirk McLean. Let me switch over to a shot here. Now, here's somebody that does a very interesting thing. They've got all the Sam's PhotoFax in the rack here, but along with them, they got the Cam 88, the 98, and some other stations as well. So that's a nice looking radio. So that's one thing we talk about. Even if your radio doesn't key up, or maybe it's just, it needs some work, they are still cool looking devices to actually have around the Radio Shack or somewhere on display. And we're always excited when we get our stations that have taken the time not only to put the radio on the air, to make sure that it sounds good. And we become the beneficiaries of a great audio. Take another transmission. You don't have to touch a thing tonight. Everything is good. Over.
Yeah, thanks for the flowers. I actually stood up here and I'm peering into it, and I see all kinds of tubes glowing throughout it. The whole radio is lit up inside, and like I said, I usually like to talk on it with the lights down and off. That way I can really see all the lights and whatnot. And the case on this radio is separated really well, so you can really see what's going on there in the dark.
All right, good deal. I'll put the S-meter camera up next time so you can give yourself a radio check. Before we go, you're getting some good thumbs up on the audio from the SWLs. Someone's saying that the best tube radio Cobra ever made. Yeah, they went to, I think, the 98, the 88, some of their last tube radios. But we are glad to have that one right here. Take a transmission. We'll put up the S-meter, and you'll be able to give yourself a report. I bet, even though you sound like you're 20 over, you're probably at S4. Take a transmission.
Yeah, it's, a talker is what I usually hear from people when well, like the last time I was able to, the hippopotamus was talking to me on it, so it definitely gets out there, and it's a radio I like. It has a good receive, it sounds good, it's a nice compact little radio, so thanks for the time, Dennis, appreciate it.
Okay, and not a problem. And you just proved a point. We're looking at the S meter, my noise level, I've got the RF gain, I've set it at 3. You're about keying up at S4 to S5. The audio is so clear, no distortion, good fidelity, and nice and loud, obviously 100% modulated without any flat topping. That is what makes a DX contact, is clear modulation, and you don't have to be strong, but if somebody can understand you, they will pull you out of the mud. Radio number 1, the Cobra Cam 88. And Hola Radio to Flaquito de Panama, Hotel Papa 4, Echo Mike Charlie, who is listening in tonight on his Magnum with the power modulation. Thanks for joining us here in the States, the United States of America, Central California, and beyond on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks, Sean, for getting us started off on the Cobra, and also a great transmission from Dirt Dog 982. And you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite slot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening for any and all check-ins. Foxman 362 saying, the radio's a keeper, put it in your living room in a 1960s home, under that little doily thing. You know, the little white doily, move the RCA broadcast radio out of the way and put on the radio. And that's what people did. You know, there weren't computers, there wasn't social media, so a lot of the radios started making them look nice. Pierce Simpson had a lot of good Art Deco style radios. Then Tram and some of the others started putting wood sides to make it look like stereo gear so that you could put it in your living room. Put a nice Turner microphone or a D104, and it matched right in. So like we always say, when you got done watching Jackie Gleason or Red Skelton or Bonanza, you would turn on the two-way, go to your favorite local channel, and do exactly what we do here, is key up the radio and talk with your friends on a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening, and have a good time. The Old Tube Radio Network. Fell off the table. You know, there are just too many, there's just wires all over the place here. And now it's tangled up with something else. You know, I had a wireless mouse and it broke, but now I see there is some method to the madness of having a wireless mouse, and I didn't have any problems with RF. Okay. And now I've lost my foot switch. You think it's easy being net controlled, don't you? They are laughing in the back. Who is Uncle Gunter? Guten Abend, yes. Joining us from way, way far away. Where it is, what, 5 in the morning? The sun is just coming up, Uncle Gunter. One nice voice. What's going on? Have you had the two-way on this morning? Any conditions? Any skip? It's been relatively quiet here on 11 meters. But thanks for joining in. And Yank 2 Whiskey 2600 saying hello, radio. And we are listening and waiting for radio number 2. All right, 6:30. Well, it's time for some tea and a pastry, no doubt. And 20 meters is open. Yeah, it's always open, right? 20. It's middle of cycle 25, so that's the place to be. Go up there and give UG a call. 10 and 11 are dead, just the way they always are, but 20 is a good deal. OTR standing by.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all and
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
And listening for any and all radio check-ins. Or any kind of check-in, whatever you have. Uncle Gunter working Washington, D.C. What's the other place you could work? Newington, Connecticut. W1AW. We've had a couple of... We had a station here that went and visited W1AW, and I think got to sit in the air chair, or at least look at it, but you can do that. They've got some nice stuff. They've got an Orban 9300, I think, on the station there, and whatever, so you can actually work the days. Days are getting shorter. How can that be? 2 inches of rain, and it's going to be 90 degrees. Well, it could be worse, right? And, he says he's worked a lot of W1AW. Yeah, I'm going to say they probably have a good shot to you guys out there in Newington. Can you tell that it was 105 degrees today? It's going to be 110, 113, I don't know, tomorrow. And people are just rushing to get into the 100-degree garage or the radio room and turn on the heat. Don't you think, or don't you? The Old Tube Radio Network listening. All right, here's somebody who's not, he's able to brave the radio room and the tubes. And we have a great frequency, a great quiet frequency. So that's a treat. Hello, Sean, over.
Yeah, so I've got the Mark IV warmed up, and hopefully it's making the trip well over there to Fresno tonight.
It is. It's just, I don't even have, I shouldn't say this, I don't even have static crashes. I mean, remember, and this was what, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, where I had that noise that would turn on at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. And once it went on, I had an S8 noise level. It would wipe out all the, all the stations that were far out. And now it's just, it's just so clear, and I haven't changed my antenna or anything, so that is a treat and a half. All right, still putting in a good signal. I'll put up the S meter. We'll do a comparison to the Cobra. But go ahead and take a transmission. I'll find some shots for our viewers of the last big Browning, the Mark IV. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV, and I'm talking on the Silver Eagle amplified D104 microphone. And, you know, Dirt Dog, he's such a character. He's got the YouTube going on my phone, and it's rather confusing because I can hear myself talking and the delay as well. So maybe you'll hear that and turn the phone off.
Yeah, it's that delay thing. You need what we call in the business a mix minus. Mike Lee, let me move. I think I have a. Let me see if I got another shot of somebody's actually got the radio up on a Mark IV. There it is, side by side. That's a big shot with the Browning. And I think we talked about this. You have on your receiver, I believe, you've got the Flying Eagle logo over.
Yeah, that is correct. It has a nice big golden eagle flying out of the speaker.
Okay, and then just for people who are not familiar with the Mark IV, beautiful radio, by the way. You've got the digital. It's not an analog display like it is on the receiver, but the transmitter's got the digital numbers that should say 1 and 1. Yeah, on your transmitter, it has the digital display rather than the analog rotary dial.
Oh, yeah, now I get it. 1 and 1, yeah, it's on the digital LED lights for the channel selector, and you can speed that up or down when you're selecting the channels. It'll either go faster or slower with the knob below it.
All right, I brought the S meter up. I don't have a way to do replay. I'm thinking that this radio is right on par with the Cobra. The Cobra might actually have a little bit more dead key, but it's right in there. Take a transmission.
Yeah, this radio I like the way it sounds, but when I listened to the replay before, it doesn't have a lot of lows. And when I was listening to the replay on the Cobra earlier, I noted that if I speak real clearly, then I really like the sound. So I gotta watch myself and try and speak clearly to get a good representation of the radio.
That is a good watchword about microphone technique. I mean, some people like to turn the audio up and go back 3 feet, which works, but then you get room noise. And sometimes it's better to just speak like you're speaking to somebody and get, that 4 to 5 inches away from the microphonium and turn things down. Did he just say turn things down? Yeah, sometimes you turn things down and they will sound good. No, it sounds good. And the Browning did that on purpose. I don't know if you look at an audio circuit on the schematic, but they actually are filtering out a lot of frequencies below 100 hertz, 150, 200 hertz. That are, would be buzzing and things like that. And, in theory, for communications, you want that articulation. But for those of us who listen to headphoniums or the big speakers, there is nothing wrong with having some full fidelity down in the 100 hertz or 80 hertz range. So Browning never did like that. So you could pump all the low frequencies you want in the Browning, and it's just going to ignore it. But that doesn't mean it is not a bad sounding radio. Getting some good thumbs up from Uncle Gunter out in Germany. Red Fox 1 is reporting in as well, and they're saying the radio is sounding good from Sangertown. Over.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Like I say, it's a great radio, and thanks to Harvey for keeping it going here. Kind of a slow night tonight on the OTR. Hopefully some other guys will
Yeah, when it's really hot like this, when it's really cold in the winter, you get a lot of people, snuggling up to the tube radios. When it's 105 and, you've got a radio in the garage or in the radio room, it's just not the thing you want to do. there seems to be something better be saying, let me go in that hot radio room. So I appreciate you jumping in tonight. We do have our shortwave listeners from near and far out joining us as well. And that is good to go. So at least we got a couple of radios tonight from Sangertown. The Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV. I hear rumors there's a 23-channel version. Sean has the 40-channel version out in 1977 by order of the FCC when they said you can't make a 23-channel radio anyway, so make it 40 channels. List price, and this is $1977. Somebody got a conversion chart for $23, $895, so around $900 to get the transmitter and the receiver. So you knew you were a CB radio junkie when you shelled out $900 back then to get yourself a radio. Back to you for a transmission, and thanks for bringing it by.
Yeah, well, if you had the $900 while you were in the elite Browning Eagle Club, which I am, Harvey has given me the button. I can proudly wear the CBB on my shirt, and yeah, it stood the test of time, so it's definitely a good radio. Thanks for the time tonight, Dennis.
All right, I would say likewise. Thanks for giving us some radios here tonight. I am going to go. You mentioned the button. All right, I've got the old Radio Night button. Everybody should have that. And here, I think this could be similar, but maybe not what you're talking about. Let me go to the Less Than Stellar. Is it working tonight? They're shaking their head. They don't know. Let's go to the Less Than Stellar close-up cam. I think they adjusted the focus. Yeah, look at that. There's the Browning Eagle Club, and it's a little pin, and you can actually, set it up on your radio with the Flying Eagle. And like I said, there's probably some shirts and things like that had it as well. Pretty cool stuff. So if you've paid your dues, you've got your radio. Radio number 2 from Browning Laboratories and SWL 14, the Mark IV. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's the same button I got there, and that's what I have it propped up on top of the old Mark IV. And when I shut it down, I put the factory directions right on top of it too.
Most excellent. All right, the Jingle Singers have been inspired by your last 2 offerings, and in the words of Pat Paulson, they have this to say about that.
You're listening in the latest style at
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Did somebody say Fresno? The Old Tube Radio Network listening for radio number 3 and beyond. All right, somebody wanted to do a check. Who was listening on the iPod headphones? Somebody want to know, is the Old Tube Radio Network in stereo? Yes, it is. Actually, let me find the control. We do that on purpose. No, there's no other. Well, maybe there is, but there's no other network that brings you your 11-meter radio in stereo. So here we go. Follow me along to, I think it's the left side. Kind of off balance here. So if you're listening over the air, you probably don't notice any difference. But if you're at the Universal Media Netweb, we're way over to the left, and then let's travel over to the right side. Yeah, okay. Radio testing, 6-7. And then back in the center. And then we can also do a little bit of wacky, can we? Yeah. Hello. Back in the Old Tube Radio Network. So there you go, a little bit of extra flavor, and I don't think anybody on the air, anybody at 27085 is not hearing whatever I'm doing. but it is there. All right, we are standing by. You notice a slow night when Net Control is turning the knobs here. Looking for Radio 3 and beyond. All right, a request. I like all request radio. Siltronics 1011D. Let me see if I have, if we go to Siltronics, and what we have on the Rolodex. The 1011D was there from Siltronics. Who requested that? Somebody requested Jim. Jim did. That was the one they actually gave it a name, called the Comanche. So let me pull that up on the screen. Oh, that's just a horrible picture. It's out of focus. A beautiful radio. Was it like the Swan 250 or the Swan? I'll have to find one that's not out of focus from Swan, but the 1011D, and it says Comanche right on it. The other ones I did not. Let me go back to see if there's a C version. Okay, this might be a little different. Similar. Cool radio, great on sideband. You got to leave them on for three months so that they won't drift. Very, very tricky to get them on AM and get their carriers adjusted. Carrier level. We had some stations that could really do a good job. Phil comes to mind. 56 had just about every Siltronics and even Swans and was able to get the AM sounding perfect out of those things. We haven't had one check in a while. But all tubes. It's not a hybrid. I think it's tube transmit and receive and doing a good job from the Siltronics. And I got one more I'll put up. So where did all the... I agree, Jim. Where did all the Siltronics go? And there it is. There's the Swan 1046. And notice it's got channels on it. It's not even the 10 or 11. The Swan 1046. There was some controversy. It was 1969 when I think Swan advertised in QST about, hey, all of you 11-meter, Class D people, we have a radio we're putting together because we want to get in on some of that... some of that business that is going on, and boy, did the amateur radio committee did not take to saying, you know what, you guys took the 11-meter band away from us. So Swan had to change their name to Siltronics, Sam I. Lewis and Swan Cubic and all that to get the Swan name off of there and give it some different numbers. But here's a very unobtainium rare radio right there. On this one, notice it has AM. And I don't even think it had a carrier control, but cool radio. But that's what started it all right there, the Swan 1046 and the Siltronics. Good stuff from back in, 1969, and the rest is history. The Old Tube Radio Network, we are standing by and listening for your check-ins tonight.
Hey, Dennis?
This is the basic Dennis, over.
You don't have to stand by. You can, sit down. It's allowed.
All right, well, let me go back to the... you can see, if you were watching the video, that I've been running around all day, so it is nice to sit down. I've got the circus tent shirt on. It's nice and cool. No tie, no seersucker suit tonight. We are having... a good time. We are having a good time, and we are well relaxed, ready to check in your radios tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I was working tonight. I had the stream on, but in the new car, I don't have the radio hooked up yet. And I haven't figured out where I'm going to put it. So, no radio to kind of check in when I get close. Okay, this is the Golden Beagle R68 T68. I do have another one I'm going to check in after this. It's a work in progress for somebody. It's not my radio, it's his. And I just kind of want to see if I can somewhat get it going. Basically, it works, but you're going to tell me how well.
All right. Well, you probably have an idea that it works, but we have lots of listeners out there tonight that can give you a radio check as well as me. There's the picture of what Harvey is doing. It's from an advertisement. The Golden Eagle, the first of the Eagles with the name Golden before the Mark II, the R68 T68 transmitter receiver combination. I don't know if you, Harvey, if you heard earlier, Sean checked in his two radios. It's basically Sean tonight. So I'm sure he's glad to have some company on the list. Over.
Okay, that was for Sean. Okay, I had the radio turned on, the other one, but obviously I can't have that happen. So I'm going to turn it back on and then key up after a while.
All right, well, this is the key up after a while frequency. I've put you down. And radio number 3 on the R68, T68. Do I have a date on those? Those were made from it says 67 to 60. I don't have a month cutoff, but 12 months, 16 months, 18 months. There a lot of transitions going on. 64, 65, 66. It's like automobiles. And when the auto guys used to change the styling every year they'd put something here, take a fin off, put an extra headlight, do that kind of stuff. Radios did the same thing back in the 60s when you could do that, when it was cost effective. And this is just when the imports are coming in. So the American guys are saying, "Nah, we got to keep up." $395. That's a whole different than the $895 for the last one. So maybe still semi-affordable. Browning Golden Eagle Mark II with the lighted on-the-air transmitter. All right, Harvey, it is sounding good. Hope you are recuperating. Don't overexert. It is hot. You've been working all day, but we appreciate you out in the radio room tonight. Over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm still on this one. I figured out how to mute the other one. Yeah, I had 3 jobs tonight that I do, the monthly thing. It's by monthly cycle. Anyway, yeah, their air conditioners were trying as hard as they could, but I could stand in certain spots and it was just fine, but other spots, it was really bad. Okay, it should be warmed up. It's not going to sound that good, I think. I've got the stock mic it came with, another one that's like it that I think is going to be better, but sound different, and then it's amplified D104 on it. Anyway, I'll come back in a second or 2 or 3 with it.
All right, we'll be out here. I've got the R-band meter. We can do some frequency checks, all that stuff. We'll give it. Anthony Norton. Anthony, what frequency are you on? Someone answered you correctly. Channel 11, 27085. We are in Central California, so consider that when you check and there's no skip conditions. In fact, if I go to the, where is it, ladies and gentlemen, the skip board, let's go up and bring that up here. You can see that the gray line has passed us here on the West Coast. There is a bevy of stuff on the East Coast and nothing happening, not even, as you can hear, to Hawaii going on tonight. So we did have a check-in. Dwayne does it again. He jumps in when the band is just right. We had him check in live from Idaho at the beginning of the net here at 8 o'clock, and then things kind of dropped out. But we are on Channel 11. We do this every Saturday, most Saturdays, beginning at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and we have been doing this, and I kid you not, since the late 1980s, and we have added all this new digital technology, but back in the good old days when we would just get on the radios and key up, and that's what you were hearing. Sort of radio, CB radio all 50 years ago with the operators and the radios thrown in. All right, standing by Listening for check-ins before we sign off here in a little bit, and Harvey has a mystery. I guess it's a mystery radio. He didn't say what it was, but he'll be checking that in, and we will all give him a signal report.
Okay. Here it is. Hello.
You are there. Not sounding too bad, over.
Well, it should be close on frequency. It's got forward swing. My main concern, I have to check. I'll be replacing some. I've done some replacement because trying to tweak it on frequency is a little rough, so I've got to do a triple. This is the Lafayette Comstat 19.
Ah, very good. All right. No, you're good. I went to the zero beat. You don't have a lot of audio, so sometimes it's hard to zero beat, but you are right on. You're not off by 50 hertz, 100 hertz. And the Comstat 19, and I can't remember, it was made by somebody else, but that is a very interesting radio. There was a selling point for that radio, and we'll talk about that. And I think, depending on who you bought it from. All right, we're having trouble with the Rolodex. Depending on where you bought it, there was a way that you could take it out of the box and not have to worry about getting a license. There should be a switch on there somewhere.
That's what I'm going to check next. I'm going to come back without you keying up. I'm going to flip the switch, and we're going to see if you can hear me.
All right. Don't flip it yet. I'm going to bring the S meter up, and I'm thinking you're on the range boost because you got pretty good forward modulation. So we are listening.
No range boost.
Oh, you're kidding! Boy, it really has some good forward modulation. It really sounds good.
Okay. When I come back next time, the switch.
All right, looks like about 6 S units, so go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm going to adjust my S meter, but go ahead.
Not bad for 100 milliwatts.
No, not bad at all. You're just above the noise level. What happens because you've got so good forward movement on the meter, there's no signal, but when you talk, it pushes it up, and I hear your audio. Were you to have a more articulate microphonium, what does that mean? Some more mid-highs in your voice, it would punch through a little bit better. So even in its semi-muffled audio state, and it's not that bad, really, you're still coming through, over.
Okay. I'm going to try the modulator.
All right, I don't know if it'll work with that low power, but now I hear it at 100 milliwatts. And what he's doing, and for some reason we've lost our Rolodex here, that radio had a switch to go to 100 milliwatts that was per part 95 or part 15, the unlicensed power. So were you to have the proper antenna restrictions, you could flip that switch and operate unlicensed with no problem, talking to the walkie-talkies down the street. So it was really a good concept, and not a lot of radios did that. Yeah, I'm thinking you're definitely don't have at that power enough. You're going to need at least a watt, I would think. So I still hear you, but it's definitely not keying it up, over.
Here we go. Okay. That's the modulator. Now, I'm going to take the modulator out and switch mics.
Okay, yeah, you get louder, but it actually accentuates the muffledness. And I backed off the RF gain control, so the meter's down to 0.
When you pull the mic out, you lose receive. So there you go. Okay, this should have more high.
Oh no, that's terrible. It sounds like it's got no lows, it's got nothing. You have about half the audio. That is not a good microphone for that.
Okay, I'll switch.
It could be, it doesn't have enough gain, and it dropped all the lows off. And the highs are kind of in the wrong spot. I hear you. I mean, I'm being super critical, but it's definitely not the microphone you want. And I'll take a chance. The radio that Harvey is chatting on, let me see if I've got a picture of it. There it is, the Lafayette Comstat 19. It was an entry-level radio from Lafayette. I don't have a picture, but and I'll make sure that this is what we're talking about. But it had a switch to go 100 milliwatts, so you could operate it unlicensed. You can see it's looks like it's 8 channels, 1 channel. Harvey will tell us more.
Okay, I was feeding back. Hang on. Okay, I have to turn this mic way down. Does it work at all?
Yeah, it works. It works. You've got more audio. Again, it's kind of accentuated in the mid-range. And yeah, you definitely have to turn it down, but it's working.
Okay. Yeah, amplified D104. Okay, 8 channels. Let's see. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And then an external socket or position, and you could plug in a transmit crystal and a receive crystal in the front. Inside there are 16 sockets, 8 for transmit, 8 for receive, and not bad. I kind of like the hand mic. It's kind of bassy and muffled, but how's that compare to this?
It's not bad. This has kind of a mid-range sound. You know, the microphone that comes with is not that bad. It just needs some high frequency to it. All the other microphones you have, including this one, put in mid-range, which is not what it needs. It needs the low frequency of the mic you had with some high frequency. But this is definitely a little bit louder. I see there's a mod light, so you probably have a little more winking and blink on the mod light. I don't see a spot switch, but it's got the 23 channel receive. This would have been, and I'm looking to see if I have a price on it. It's only 7 tubes. It's one of those 7 tube radios like the Helicopter CB3A and the Hustler, which was like the minimum amount of tubes you could get by and get a radio going. It runs 12 volt DC, 115 volt AC. You could run it mobile. And I don't see a price. But I bet it was in the $99 range, something like that, $119. And I think somebody sold this as a kit as well. I'm surprised there aren't more of these around for an entry-level CB radio. That doesn't sound too bad. Back to you.
It might be a kit, because the soldering underneath looks like a kit. It's not in Sam's PhotoFax, so it's, I got to play it by ear with this thing. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking, listen to you, because it's got a crystal receive position, and the crystal is not that good. But I've got about 10 other crystals I could stick in there and try and get it to receive a little better in the crystal position. So, while you talk, I'm going to do that.
All right, I will talk, but that radio has some good audio. So if you have the right microphone, it's going to be loud. It's going to be full fidelity. It's loud now. You're getting some good numbers on the LKFS meter. I want to say good night to 2 Whiskey 2600. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're talking to Harvey on the Lafayette Comstat 19. Entry-level radio with the 100 milliwatt switch. That's the radio I should have had when I started, and I didn't. I would have had a tube radio, pretty cool. I think you said it was electronic switching. You pull out the microphonium and you don't hear anything on the receive. Hopefully you have a channel 27085 crystal. And I'm showing, it says Sam's Photofax, CB14, page 87. So am I wrong here? CB14, page 87 is the Sam's Photofax. And swapped out antennas, Jim saying he swapped out his antennas on his 100 milliwatt walkie-talkie. And he can get over 5 feet. We had the Hallicraft for CB11A that was 100 milliwatts. He used to make a wire antenna. We didn't know that, we were horizontally polarized and then trying to run the antennas on there, but it sure made the receive better. But this would have been a heck of a lot of fun to run 100 milliwatts. All right. I am right on frequency there, Harvey, at 27085, so hopefully you have me tuned in and you can see. When you have me tuned in, what does your dial say? Is it 10, 11, 12? Are we close?
Oh, for tuning, receive, excellent. I've got it right on 11, just past the 10, and this is going back east to a person who likes channel 12. So I've got a 12 crystal in there. I'm not sure how well it's going to receive. I think it'll be okay. If not, well, that's life. But, yeah, Sam's Photofax 14's right here. I don't know what I was thinking. I was using the darn thing. Anyway, so I'm going to listen to you and swap receive crystals so that I can get 11 in better.
All right, it is a good radio. I just looked at the S meter. It's obviously tuned correctly. Your audio doesn't sound pinched. It's got full forward modulation. I mean, you don't need to have this giant carrier and then bad audio. So I think it's perfect on the way it is tuned up. What else was I going to say? Getting some good reports from our SWLs. You are right on frequency. Oh, I was going back to close-up. I see it's got the switch, Xtel, crystal, and receive. So when you're on the crystal, it gives you one transmit and one receive. So you've got to have the set. So you're going to go to whatever channel set that is, I guess, right? And are they both, what's the receive? Do you have to have like a 455 offset on the receive? I'm assuming they're not. You've got to have the offset. I'm curious about that. And then 8 channels on the selector. On the transmit selector, and then you dial in your receive. So yeah, on the transmit receive crystals, what do you do? What's the offset? How do you know that? All right, I will stop talking. Good radio. There's nothing wrong with that radio. Got good audio, and then I think with the right microphone or audio board, that thing would sound really pretty interesting. Over.
Okay. Here into 4 watts, swinging, hello, to about 7 or 8. Okay, I'm going to listen to you, and other people, so go ahead, and I'm going to be swapping crystals to get a good receive one in there.
Okay, a quick question. On the receive side, are you putting in crystals? Okay, I gotta have the right thing. That say 27085, or is it some offset for the receive?
Receive is 630 for 11, and transmit half channel 13542.5.
All right, so your receive is what, 455 offset, which is what we used to do in the walkie-talkie. So you got a 455 kilohertz offset, I think, on your receive channel. You got to do the math, but your transmit's got some other multiplier going on. So you don't plug in a 27085, you plug in a 13. So I'm glad you know what to do.
Yeah. It's negative 455.
All right, and if you were to plug that into the transmit, I think you would be on a Silver Air Patrol frequency or close to it. All right, very good. You are radio. I even marked it down. We've been having so much fun with Radio 4 here. The Comstat 19 from Lafayette. LRE. That's what the Lafayette Radio Electronics was back in the day. We actually had a Lafayette Radio Electronics, and you remember it, Harvey, the electronics store here that closed in 1976. I had been in town a couple of years, and I remember going to the closing. I got a really great fringe television antenna for like $5, and the guy just pulled it off the shelf, and he gave me the mast and everything. It was like $5, and that started my TV DXing. Sorry to see Lafayette go. All right, thanks for bringing it by.
Hey, Roger. I got here in 79, so I missed that. But I was here for the last outdoor movie theater.
Yeah, what was up by where Costco is? You used to drive up there, and they had a lot of them. They had one by Fashion Fair, and then they had all the theaters. All right, you what? I thought you'd been here forever. I couldn't possibly beat Harvey as the old codger guy here in Fresno, and I'm a new transplant. All right, over to you. Jingle singers want to do a thing or two before we sign out, which is coming up, and you're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
Break OTR.
The break OTR. Go ahead, please. Over.
Well, good evening. Again from the Radio Lounge. This is SWO 47 with a Robin. For your listening pleasure, a Robin T123B as in Bravo.
And it is, for my listening pleasure, 123B. I know that's in the Rolodex, so we'll grab it here. We'll put on the one, the great shot from Cliff, and we'll go back to you and say, take a transmission on the green machine. Over.
Well, thank you. I have to tell you that the most notable comment I can make about this radio right now is that this sucker is really hot. I was going to go run out and get my infrared thermometer just to say exactly how hot it is. You're not going to be putting your hand on top of it. I didn't have a chance to go get that thermometer, but again, you put your hand on there and you're going to feel it almost like, I don't know who that guy was from the first Indiana Jones movie that grabbed onto that hot medallion and had it permanently tattooed on his hand. If you try that on this particular radio, you're going to go home with a permanent gift. But funny is, and I think I've made this comment several times, it's definitely the best looking radio. No, it doesn't have a magic eye tube, but it's just probably the most outstanding radio I have in my collection. I don't think I didn't get a cardboard box for this one, but it looks sweet.
And it does. And we have some our shortwave listeners chiming in. I've got some great pictures of the Robin. And it is a cool radio. The Panasonic number 2 chassis, I think 23 Skidoo told us all about that. And Robin, I don't know if they paid more to Panasonic. They have, I think, the classic dolled up, this is the one that's got the biggest tail fins, the portholes on the side, the great hubcaps. I love the way they did the yellow or green. It's green on this one. The 240D was yellow. Inserts on the knobs. It's got the external speaker, the PA, all the mod lights, the range expand. Pretty cool radio on the TX-RX lights, and it sounds good. Smooth audio for radio number 15. And you are not the first or the second or the third person that said, this radio runs hot. So I guess that's the way it does.
Yeah, it's, I gotta say, it's kind of alarming. Maybe some other time I'll go out and grab that thermometer, but yeah, it's something that to cause concern. I think you're asking about the mobile mounting bracket, which I do have. You might have been asking about it last week or something. And someone made a comment just a moment ago about a drive-in movie theater. I've always been tempted to try and mount one of these in the car. I don't have room for it underneath the dash on anything I own. But number one, someone is building a new drive-in movie theater. There used to be across the street from COS, there was a diner, Mel's, that was real popular. Was it Mel's? It might have been called Merle's. Actually, I think it was Merle's. Whatever. It went out of business years ago and sold and blah, 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 blah. Well, they're opening up another Merle's or Mel's or whatever it is in a different location, and they're adding in a movie screen, outside movie screen, so that should be pretty interesting. But I never heard it in any drive-in movie theater that I went to, but I'd love to take this thing, stick underneath the dash, and use that PA feature on this thing just to annoy people or whatever. It won't happen, and just like I'll never own a Mr. Microphone that basically do the exact same thing, but maybe someday.
Look at a garage sale near you for the Mr. Microphonium. Yes, Merle's in Visalia on Mooney Boulevard. The original one had the 1950s architecture with the neon tilted malt glass. It's been a long time since I've been there. We actually shot some commercials there, and we did a video that was a 1950s things with some old cars. So no doubt, if whoever's putting all the money up for this can actually get it done, there will be a lot of old cars that show up, and maybe, there's a hard shot from Visalia to Fresno without a big antenna, lots of watts. There will be some CB radios in there as well. So if they're putting in a little movie theater thing and whatever, there's going to be lots of car clubs that are going to be specifically driving to the new Merle's. I want to think about what kind of prices they're going to have to charge for a chocolate milkshake to pay for all that. But maybe it will be fun to go through one or two times. The radio sounds good, nice audio, so not a problem. You are logged in as Radio 15 on our first Robin this evening and getting a lot of good thumbs up on the audio as well. Over.
Oh, good. Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to use this, and honestly, I know I make this comment all the time, but man, it's just really cool to sit here and listen to everyone chatting on their radios. It's almost like cruising Blackstone on a Friday night, but now you're just cruising the radio waves, listening to all these great radios and operators too. So, all right. Well, there it is. Thanks for letting me check it in, and everyone try and stay cool and. Stay out of trouble. 73 from the Radio Lounge at WL47.
All right. As they say, put a fan on. Who had put a fan on it? Although if it doesn't have holes in the top, I don't know. You have to find where the convection cooling is. Before you go, I see there's a pull tone. In 25 words or less, it says squelch, but it says pull tone. So were you to, and if it can, pull that knob out, it has another function?
You know what? Oh, that's amazing that you'd make that comment. Yeah, it does. And I got to be honest with you, I've never read it because I have to get down on the ground. This is a bottom shelf radio in my collection. But yeah, it does say pull tone. I don't know what it means. That the squelch knob, it's the second from the left. It does say pull tone, and let's do this. Fun. I don't often experiment anymore these days. I'm going to pull it right now. Testing 1, 2, 3. Pull out. It's pulled out right now. I don't know if that changed anything. We'll turn it clockwise. Testing 1, 2, 3. Sizzling sausage on top of the radio. And now we're going to turn it left. All the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm curious if that did anything.
All right. Well, what it did was it pulled the knob out. And the tone will be for you receive. It would be cool if it had a transmit. I think the Tram actually did have a transmit tone control. So that's your receive tone control. First, let me make sure that since you actually changed something, that you can still hear me, that pulling out that knob didn't mess any of your receive up.
That's a great question. No, it sure didn't.
All right, good, because, I mean, it could. So now when you rotate aforementioned, let me get the picture back. The squelch knob is what he's got. He's pulled it forward, and now it becomes a tone control where if he goes right to left, it probably, basically what it does is probably just attenuates the high frequency. So if we give you a little bit of sizzle sausage, 6, 7, 6, 7, if you roll it off, I'm doing the 6, 6, 7, you will probably hear the 6s and the 7s be a little less subtle, and then you roll it back off, 6, 6, 7, and then it unmuffles my 6s and 7s, over.
Yeah, you know, if you pull that out, it definitely muffles the audio, and yeah, it does make a very, very, very small difference in the receive audio. When you push that knob all the way back in, it really adds a lot of clarity. I don't know what it does if you push it in. Whatever the default setting is for that tone, it sounds best to me, I think.
What radio is that?
That's it. Let me do it. The Robin T123B. So a lot of times it's an attenuator. It doesn't really add, not like your stereo where you've got bass and treble. It just says, okay, I'm putting in a circuit and let me roll off the highs. But that's a T123B. The Panasonic 2 chassis, but they have the tone control function.
Okay. Yeah, it's for receive only. All
right, and who was asking? This is an AM, that's a good question. Somebody's asking if it's AM sideband. This is from 1972 to 1976. Yes, there were sideband radios coming out, but this was not one of them. This worked off of a Panasonic chassis that was AM only, and so it did not have upper or lower, it did not have single sideband, so totally AM, and even the 240D did not have sideband as well. All right, over to you, Mike, for a bye-bye. You are radio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the Robin T123B, and oh my gosh, we got to do some counting and amounting soon, but thanks for bringing it by over.
Well, yeah, thanks. And again, that's cool that we even went on this particular radio. I haven't messed with that in like a really, 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 really long time. I don't even remember when it was. So, thanks. It's educational and entertaining. How often does that happen? All right. Well, again, thanks for letting me play with it, and have a great evening, guys. 73.
All right, and all for the price of admission. Jingle singers are saying it is that time, so they will do what they do best, and we'll be back in a moment.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
And we are listening for any final check-ins on your Old Tube Radio network.
By the way, the T123B wired D104 is what's working on this.
Wait a minute, T123B. Oh, so that is the same pinout configuration?
Well, I'm going to look it up, but yeah. This wouldn't work on other radios. It's just for my Robin, and it'd have to be down off the shelf where the Robin is. So I thought I'll just plug it in, and sure enough, it works.
Wow, and that's a bold move. You know, sometimes you got to be careful with the B+ voltage on those things.
Yeah, well, it would only shock me.
Yeah, amongst other things.
Oh, very true. Let me see here. Relay voltage is down here. Let me find it. Ooh. Yes, I have to watch this. It's, kind of, let's see. I gotta look at it. I'm not sure. Let me stick my tongue on it and find out.
Well, this is, wait a minute, Harvey. This is not the stick your tongue on it frequency. Getting ready to sign off here, counting them out. I want to say hello, radio, to one of the great operators out on the coast of California. Skippy is listening in. Thanks for joining us where it is probably still 97 degrees. I know it's 97 degrees here in the shack. We have some people actually braved the Radio Shack and turned their radios on tonight, which is always a good thing. We will be telling you about that. So hopefully Harvey has made his test and will live to tell about it.
It is quite a bit.
Yeah, were you the 9-volt guinea pig? Somebody would hand you the 9-volt battery and you stick it on your tongue and say, yeah, oh, that's good.
This is more 9 volts.
Absolutely. All right, anybody else before we sign out tonight on your old Tube Radio Network? And the noise level came up. Oh, I guess that's because I made an adjustment. But the skip, let me go back to the DX map. I'm just so surprised that what looked to be maybe a DX night tonight didn't happen with the hot weather and the Chopo. Look at that. Guys on the East Coast still working 20 meters, maybe some 15, and they're nothing after the gray line here. And there's the gray line coming over to Hawaii, and nothing. But that's okay. We did, as usual, SWL 30 jumping in and saying hello radio. We've got it on tape, as they say. All right, if Mr. Announcer and the Jingle Singers will do their thing, I can do my thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final totals on your old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for joining us. However you joined us, whether it was oldtuberadio.net, the video thing right here at Channel 11, or maybe you are watching this. Maybe it is 2025. It is sometime in July in 2025, and you say, what are those crazy people doing 2 years ago? And were you to do that in 2025, you could join us next Saturday, because I'm sure we'll still be on the air. So speaking to your future self. So what do you want? Let's see the REA meter. That's better than looking at me. On SWLs tonight, 18 on page 1, 20 on page 2, 15 on page 3, 26 on page 4, for a total of 79. And did I add somebody for the list? I think I did. It was JZ out there in Sylvania, Ohio. Oh, before, I'm going back. Let me go back to the control room here. And I made a promise, and I don't know, it's still late. I'm going to fire up, it'll take me a while, but I'm going to fire up the remote receiver out of Squamish, if I can find it here. I think it's this one. And see if the Squamish guys are on tonight on 27085. So if it'll pop up, and there it is. Get it fired up here. Get some audio going. Kind of some weird stuff tonight. So let me narrow it down. If the Squamish boys are on, I'm listening 27085, and I'll have it in the background here. I know there's a bit of delay, like 20 seconds or so, but we'll keep it. That noise you hear is the sound of Squamish radio waiting to happen. So 27085. So there we go. With the delay. Back to, what was I doing? Reading the list. Total of 79 SWLs tonight, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count them, 5 radios.
Good evening, Josh. Good evening, OTR. Hello, everybody. It's Albert, 256. West Coast boys. Good good night, all.
And there they are. That is the... If I can find the volume controller. Too many things to click on. Sounding good in Squamish. There's their signal coming in at 27085. Listening to Harvey, the skipper, Mary Ann, and all the rest here tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. Good to hear you guys on from Squamish, BC, live and direct. I wish we could hear you without the aid of the satellite uplink, but it's all good. Always love to hear when someone is actually transmitting on their radio. We had 5 radios stop by tonight. The Brownings, the most heard manufacturer, started off with the Cobra Cam 88, Dirt Dog 982 running side microphonium. Sean and Sanger with that, and also on his Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV. So a nice radio. Let's go to the Squamish, guys. I got a good signal. Good audio coming in there tonight. So radios 1 and 2 from Sangertown. Thanks, Sean, for getting us started off tonight. Harvey was on the Browning Golden Eagle R68, T68, or was it the Beagle? Radio number 4, he was on the Lafayette Comstat 19. That's probably going to be heard on one of those other great over-the-air radio nets, and it sounds good. And then the Robin T123B just moments ago from Mike. The Squamish boys are looking and sounding good here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And a 73 and a good Radio DX to all the other stations up and down the Old Tube Radio Network. Over. And before I blow something or someone up, I will, let's say, 73. Have a good evening. We are in the big heat wave here in Central California, expecting close to 110 tomorrow. You guys like Skippy out on the coast where it's 77 degrees. Have a good time, won't you? Because we will be thinking about you here. Good night, everybody. We will be back next week on your Old Tube Radio Network.
Good show, Dennis. Catch you next week.
All right, and I would play around on the radio tonight, but I need to get out of the room here and open the windows and cool down a bit. But definitely nothing going on 10 meters tonight. 73 from your Old Tube Radio Network. And a neutral observation. Our one and only, although we have many of them, general radio telephone tonight didn't make it in. But sometimes the general radio telephones are the most heard manufacturers, so stay tuned.
Yeah, but you got to do the same to the Yunnan as well. Yes, do not cry, because the network is gone. Go have some Ovaltine, and we'll catch you next week. 73, everybody, the Old Tube Radio Network, saying have a good evening. Back to 11 meters.